Welcome into the crypto bunker. Let's get right into it. Looking at the charts, we obviously saw a blow off top in Ethereum, in pretty much mainly Ethereum, but we can look through some stocks. I'll tell you guys why I have a big short position on ETH as well as the stock market in general. I do believe that there are many reasons to be potentially bearish here. I do think this was a bear market rally. Potentially, if we rally a little bit farther here and we go maybe above 2,000, we close there on the weekly, and then that's not when you want to buy. So you wouldn't want to buy here. A textbook breakout from a downtrend like this would be something like this. And then it would kind of come back down and we would test probably like here, 1290, something like that, where we broke out. We'd fill that gap. That's where you would want to start accumulating. If that happened, I don't think necessarily that happened. I do think we will get rejected here. We'll roll over down to around that 1290 region. If we look at the moving averages on ETH here, we do see we caught support at the 200 weekly, kind of like what I've been saying for months now. That was a possibility. It's hard to get the exact bottom, and that's why usually when you get these breakouts, you can wait for a retest. It might take a while. You might have to be patient with it. But as you can see, I mean, we have the top line, and the next line on the weekly. You connect those, and you connect even this line here. We broke through it and we kind of used it as support, and then we broke through it. So this line is very important. We are getting rejected exactly from this line. We also have very, very, very important resistance at these levels. This is multiple year resistance now. And so I just can't, for the life of me, and I may be like a euphoric bear, but usually a euphoric bear or euphoric bull, euphoric bear would be sort of freaking out at the bottom and being like, I'm the best, we're going to go lower. And a euphoric bull would be like, we're going higher, this is awesome, all that. And so again, I'm going to give you guys a few different charts and a few different reasons why I do think that ETH is going to head lower from here. Obviously, this is multiple year resistance. We had many touch points, and even if you look at this on the 4-hourly, we had many touch points through here, about the 1750 region. The more times you touch a trend line, the more it becomes basically stronger. And so this is multiple years of touching this. Obviously, we had all of these through here in July. We had this even right through here. And then really we had all through here as well before the blow off top. The first blow off, we touched it exactly here. We even touched it here right before we started the blow off. So we used it as support here as well. That was a big support right there. So again, many reasons here to think that we did top out, and I just don't think that necessarily. I mean, let's say it like this. I mean, we're up 100% here from the bottom. We went exactly 100% basically from the bottom to the top. And so do you think that something that went 100% in 5 weeks is something you would want to buy or you would want to sell? In my opinion, you would want to sell. Now, what's happening in markets right now is pretty crazy, right? In the stocks, it's always possible that we get a little bit more of a blow off. And what I think what would happen in stocks if we did go higher on Monday, would be for ETH to probably double top at 1780 or something like that, or 1800. Like I said, I think there's too many people who waited to sell, you weren't able to sell here and now are able to sell. And they just know that all of those times they bought at 1700, it makes them think, okay, let me get out, let me break even. This is a bear market, you know, all of that. And obviously we do have the merge coming. I understand. And this is why I want to be a contrarian, um, is because, you know, people are all thinking like the merge, the merge, the merge. And so they're all buying in, they're going long, they're saying, I'm in this merge trade. And that's cool. I get that. And like I was saying before, like I was bullish back here. Um, and I was sort of waiting for this pattern to play out. And now what would usually happen is it would come back down to I think 1280, right where we broke out. I think that's where we can fill the gap. I do expect that to happen. It's not easy to have a short in this environment. It's not easy to, you know, be in that position when everyone is bullish and you're the only bear out there and you feel like, hey, if I'm wrong, everyone's going to be like, you know, sort of um being like, haha, I told you so, all that. But let's look at Ethereum on the weekly. Ethereum dominance, okay? This is the percentage market cap of Ethereum um to all other coins. Um this is a textbook reversal. And if we close the weekly candle without ETH pumping from here, which it's pumping now a little bit, but it's losing dominance to Bitcoin today. We can look at the Bitcoin to ETH chart as well. It looks like that is a blow off top. Which is again very contrarian, right? Everyone thinks ETH is breaking out against Bitcoin. ETH is, you know, going to the moon. You know, screw Bitcoin, all of that stuff. But look at the resistance that we just came into on ETH dominance. I mean, it's uncanny how people will get the most bullish at the most bearish times, and that's really what the markets are supposed to do, right? So we as contrarians, as people who want to try to profit off of the markets by trading, we have to take that other side regardless of if it works or not. And you have to have stops where you say, okay, if we close a daily candle above the 1780 where we topped out, then I will close out my short and I will lose, you know, some money on that. But you know, I'm not willing to get liquidated, but I am going to just say that, you know, I'm willing to say that it's not just going to go to 2800 immediately, right? It's going to potentially, you know, there's a lot of resistance here. So we can sort of know that even if we are in that 1730 to 800 range, there's a lot of sellers there to sort of keep us in check. And I think that that's kind of what we're seeing now. There's, you know, we're sort of testing that here with some bullishness action, you know, action in the past couple even minutes once I started this. But again, let's look at the ETH Bitcoin chart. I mean, this thing, it's essentially it's the same. It might even look worse. This is a massive head and shoulders, in my opinion. We have a head, we have two shoulders. And again, believe me, guys, like I am not someone who I'm ETH over Bitcoin all day. I'm holding ETH, you know, I have staked ETH, all of that. I don't have any Bitcoin. Um, but you know, we just have to look at the charts, and there hasn't been a candle like this that reversed a reversal candle until, you know, since this, and this is even more of a reversal candle. This is like one of the craziest. I mean, if it closes, we obviously this is Sunday at 8 p.m. close. If it closes like that, but look at what happened back in okay, actually let me look at ETH dominance again. Look at this resistance that we just faced. Again, this is the same resistance, right? And we popped our head above it for the all-time high, but we are now getting rejected for like the fifth time or something. 1, 2, basically 3, 4, 5. And so I personally will take the other side of that. And but the thing is that we are in a blow off top right now. So anything can happen. Like I said, I would have to see a close above that high that we just put in. I would even say a close above 1750 will signal a bullish continuation momentum. But we can see that the ETH dominance came in here basically at the same time, which is crazy, right? July of 2018 is really when we topped out and took a huge crash. And I don't know what could make that happen, right? You would think like the merge is happening. Like, why is the chart putting in this sign? You know, what is going on? And what I think it is that there could be some unforeseen events coming. You know, this is a once in a 2000 year event in terms of astrology, from people that I've, you know, followed on Twitter, guys that I trust in that, you know, realm. And speaking of that, I actually found something pretty crazy that I think you guys will find sort of cool. So basically, the crypto market trades almost exclusively, it's especially tops, with the moon cycles, um, new moons and full moons. And before you leave, let me just show you, because it's seriously, the top happened right at a new moon. Okay, the bottom, full moon. So if you sell at a new moon and buy near a full moon, you're almost guaranteed every time, almost every time, to have a good return. Now, obviously, again, like this was the all-time high. We put it, we blew off, but then we sold off into the full. We went back up, another new moon, went back down, another, you know, full, and we really dumped. Again, the last time we rallied up to the 200-day moving average, was a exactly top on a new moon. And now look what we just had. We had a full moon, and I actually or a new moon. And the craziest thing about this is that I want to say it almost marked the exact top. It was close. You know, we can look at it on the hourly, but yeah, so look at where the new moon was, and then we went to 1780. This was like almost, you know, 2 hours after that we potentially just put that in. Um, and this is just a fake out, guys. Honestly, like this is such BS. This is what they do on the weekends. They just like screw with the market. People that want to go short, they liquidate you. You know, you look at what happened, and this is what happened on last weekend. And then we dumped, right? So, you know, we could see something similar here where we kind of chop around for a little bit and then we sort of go. And you know, I would close some of my shorts out, probably 1550. That's actually where I started shorting, unfortunately, and I've been able to stomach all of this, if you can imagine. So it's not the most comfortable position to be in, but it's also like I feel like I've done the work to be able to take this position, and like I said, I have the um sort of the non-emotional bias towards it. Um, but the craziest thing is too, if we look at the new moon on markets, let's look at Apple, for example. Every time, even the NASDAQ, we can look at that. New moon, dump, new moon, dump, full moon, rally, right? Full moon, rally, new moon. So what is this gonna, you kind of have to think like we're definitely overbought on Apple, and this thing blew off top on bad earnings. All of these companies had bad earnings, misses. None of them had good revenue. You know, they were here and there. Like people just are like insanely bullish right now, and there's a big short squeeze happening. People are kind of freaking out. It just to me is just seems like this wild market, and the Fed actually had to come out. We had a Fed representative, Kashkari, had to come out yesterday and say like, I don't know why the markets reacted like this, because we are like hiking. And that's the thing I was trying to say on Twitter was Powell's press conference. I watched it and I was like live tweeting it, and I couldn't believe that the market was buying it. And I think that part of it is like potentially that the market is just manipulated. But I don't know. I mean, you again, it's a weird thing. Um, but I do think that what he was saying was that basically, um, the Fed is going to continue to hike until we see lower inflation. Now people people think like, okay, we're going to get low inflation prints like from here on out. I get that. But are they going to get to 2%? That's where the Fed wants to get us. We're at 9% now. We're probably at like 8.5, right? But fuel is still expensive, food is still expensive, and so it's hard for me to see them, stopping. And the thing is, the yield curve is completely inverted, and that means, you know, um, that's bad news for the economy. There's a lot of things happening with that. Um, you know, we obviously have the 10-year, the 2-year yield um here at 288. And so the 2-year is saying to the Fed, because we're at 275 now, you pretty much can't hike anymore. The economy, the bond market can't handle it, the banks can't handle it, the people can't handle it. Even mortgage rates went down when they hiked, because it's just like so obvious. But the thing is that inflation isn't going to go down to where they wanted. So what are they going to do? They're going to have to fight inflation. And one of the things that they want is to lower people's net worth, which is, again, a reason to knock the stock market down. So you think if anyone hates this rally more than, me, it would be the Fed. I mean, the Fed, Powell kind of made a mistake, because the market had already rallied into the press conference. So he should have been way more hawkish, knowing that the market is sort of controls the whole economy. Now we have like retail manias back. People are throwing money into meme coins again. People are throwing money all over the place. And so it's embarrassing, really, for the Fed, who is trying to really not, tame that mania, and tame, because the more that mania is present, the more it's present in the economy, right? People are making money left and right on the markets. They're throwing money at, whatever, goods they might be buying and purchasing. And so it's just insane that people somehow are still like bullish from here on crypto, when crypto is like the one thing that the Fed is like probably cannot have happen. And so I believe that there will be some kind of event. I don't know what exactly it will be. This marked the exact top for ETH Bitcoin, was the new moon. And again, the full moon is on August 12th. So if you plan on, I think that that's kind of when, maybe around that time, before or after, that we'll see like some kind of bottom potentially, at least in the short term. And I expect that to be around like 1280. That would be about a 30% correction, which is normal for the start of a bull market. Shake everyone back out. I think it makes total sense. I think the last thing that makes sense is for this thing to rally. And I actually can't believe that it just popped up. That must be a short squeeze that just happened in real time that we were watching there, because we just crossed bearish on the hourly. And so that usually would be a dump. And so people probably shorted that candle, and then they were just liquidated right there. And so there's more short covering happening. Also, Bitcoin is pumping. Bitcoin is at basically, yeah, Bitcoin's now at the highs, or close now, to the highs of this latest rally. But as you can see, these patterns just continue to play out. And this is textbook, basically what I'm learning in my textbook currently. Again, this pattern played out here, it played out here, it played out here. But you can see this is a number one time to short. This pattern of an uptrend is when it hits this. And that, I mean, so again, I think it's a short squeeze. The hourlies are about to cross. So who knows, maybe we'll rally up a little bit more, squeeze a little bit more out of this. But again, I do think that this is ironclad resistance. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys got something out of the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and stay safe out there, because like I said, I've said before, but make sure you have storable foods, junk silver, all the things that you might need for any amenities that you think you might need. Because, just expect the unexpected. Everything's gonna be fine. You know, be open to doing things in this time. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I know Pelosi is supposed to fly to like Asia, and China is like preparing for war with Taiwan essentially, and they are promising to shoot down Pelosi's plane if she flies into Taiwan, which is crazy. But you can look on Twitter. Chinese state-sponsored media did say that on Twitter, and there was like video of Chinese soldiers saying like prepare for war. There was tanks being shipped over closer to Taiwan. I mean, they're prepared. China's been preparing for this for years, and so if they think that the time is now, then they'll strike. But the markets are just so crazy; they're not pricing any of this in. China and Russia just partnered up to create their own world reserve currency. Just things are happening, and so it is almost a weird irony that we would pump. It's almost like the final blow off, of the century or something. I mean, if you read The Fourth Turning, you listen to Ray Dalio, you listen to the Cycle people, you listen to Stan Druckenmiller, these guys. I mean, Stan Druckenmiller, in his latest interview, if you look at it on YouTube, he talks about his next move is going to be shorting the stock market after we get a rip-roaring bear market rally. And that was June 6th. And we've gotten that rally. And I actually heard that the Commitment of Traders report just came in at the close Friday, and someone just opened a massive, massive short on the markets basically. So who knows? Maybe that's Druckenmiller. He could have timed that. He couldn't have timed it better, in my opinion, if that is him. And I'll follow that money. I think anything can happen. I think that I don't know what news would bring us down. That's the thing. It seems like people are just going crazy though on the stock. So I mean, it's a massive short squeeze, like I said. So if you're able to hold out this long, more power to you. And I would say, let's keep going at it, because, I also follow Keith McCullough from Hedgeye, and he's called every stock market top and bear market pretty much of his career since before 2000. And he is like max short here. He's gotten squeezed. Obviously, a lot of people have gotten squeezed here, including myself, but not too bad. Actually, I made some good money. Probably break even now with the squeeze, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll be willing to close out my ETH position above 1780 on a daily close, or 1750, something in that range probably. But again, this ETH dominance candle is just giving me very much pause. I don't know if people are just not seeing it, but we haven't put a candle in like this, again, since probably June of 2018, or we could say January of 2018, but that was like the top. So I wouldn't say that that's necessarily what we're seeing now. I would say this is probably more like June or July of 2018, before basically the massive bear market. Again, very hard to see that happening. I get it with the ETH merge coming. I'm with you. I think that what I say to people is, what if that was the merge rally? What if that was us pricing in the merge rally? Now we come back to 1280 and we test for a little bit. Then maybe we rally again up into the merge rally, up into the merge, and then maybe we sell the news, or maybe it's all priced in and it's just sell the news from here. I mean, I just don't know why we would be seeing this candle being put in this scenario. I don't know how or why ETH is rallying on Saturday. Like I said, again, I think that this is pretty much manipulation. I feel pretty strongly that we're not going to make an all-time high in ETH today, but who knows? We're close now, 1745. Bitcoin, well, I shouldn't say all-time high. I should say all-time rally high. Bitcoin is making an all-time rally high, I believe, right? Well, it might be right below still. It's at 24,584. It is still below. ETH, I don't think will make it here. I do think 1750 is sort of that really, really key level. So yeah, let's see what happens. Again, I said that this was multiple year support. If you do any trading technical analysis study, you would know that multiple year support on a weekly time frame is very strong. And once you flip it down, you use it as support at the end, you flip down, and then you that is resistance, that is hard resistance on on the upside. And so we rallied 4 weeks in a row here. Even off a bottom, 4 weeks is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what we rallied off the July bottom. And then we did pull back to basically the bottom of that candle, which would be like 1595 for this candle. But yeah, 4 weeks in a row is a lot. I mean, 1, 2, 3, basically 4 is the most you can get, except in a blow off scenario, which is what we had in basically March of 21 through May of 21 for the $4,000 top for Ethereum at that time. But yeah, again, just trying to help you guys out here, and I do think that this is strong resistance on many different levels and timeframes. So hopefully you got something out of that. If you did, please like, subscribe, and have a great day.